David Chan. I'm one of the CEPIP trainers at Aspire Square. Today we are going to discuss about the writing task 1. So let's have a look at it. What exactly it is going to be? Well, in writing task 1, we will be having a look at the email writing. So here it is. In the instructions, as we can see, it is very important to focus upon the timer because we will be given a precise 27 minutes, and in that we'll have to complete the entire task. And once we click next, we cannot go back to change our answers. So here is an example of what exactly the topic could be. So as we see on the left side, there is an information where it says that you recently stayed at a very popular hotel in town. However, the room service and amenities were awful. The hotel manager was on a leave, so the problem was not resolved. So you left with a dissatisfaction. As you see on the right top, we have a timer remaining of 27 minutes. So it is very important to read the information. Now, for example, if we take a look at the information on the right side, where it is all about to write an email to the hotel's manager in about 150 to 200 words. And it also asks us to make sure that our email should include following things. As we see, there are 3 bullet points which are important to be covered in the email. Now, if we look at those 3 bullet points, the first one says, state what problems you had with the amenities. Second one, complain about the room service. Third, describe how you want the hotel to resolve the problem to your satisfaction. So it is very important to take care of these 3 bullet points while you actually write your entire response. And it is very important to take care of all the things, that is the information on the left side and the information on the right side, because many times we have seen the candidates do forget to take a look at the information on both the sides. And that's where they end up making mistakes. So please do not make such mistakes. Let's have a look at what exactly we need to take care of while framing an answer. So first of all, we need to take care of the on-screen tools. Now, the on-screen tool includes the timer, the next button, and word counter, and the spell check. So these are the 4 important tools. Now, the timer basically helps you to take a look at what time are you left with to complete the task. The next button is very much to be taken care of, because once you click to complete, okay, and if the time goes up, you use it. But if in case you misuse it by clicking the next just by mistake, then you cannot go back. So make sure that you will not be given any extra time in your task period, even if you will click next before time. Okay. And word counter, as we see here on the right bottom, it is going to help us to know how many words we have written and how many are we left with, because spell check is something that is going to be an advantage. So if in case you will make any mistakes in spellings, if you will write something that doesn't belong to English language, then your word would be underlined in red and you can have an idea. Okay, so please take care of all these tools. That is going to be of very much help in your writing task. Let's have a look what exactly we need to use the spell check for. So there are many times we would have noticed that few words look like other ones, and it is our need to remember which one should apply, because the spell check will not underline the same if you choose the incorrect one. For example, as I have been showing these words, if you notice ATE, 8, and EIGHT, number 8, they both are pronounced the same manner. But while we type, we need to take care that we type the right word. Similarly, even while we type the word cell, CELL, battery cell, and for example, SELL, cell, to sell things. Okay. Now, even here, we need to remember which ones to use, because the spell check is not going to identify which ones should be used. Okay, so it's not going to give you the choice. Now, simultaneously, the third one is due, DEW, dewdrops, and DUE, something that is due to be paid. Okay, Now, based on these examples, we have also made a few sentences. For example, there were four men in the house. Okay. Now, if by mistake, if I type four men, Foremen, then it's not going to be a spelling mistake, but it is going to change the meaning of my entire sentence. So I need to be very careful while using the words. And simultaneously, the another option is I shall not join you for dinner. So if you notice, SHAWL and SHALL, they both are pronounced in a similar manner. Simultaneously, YEW and YOU, they both are pronounced in a similar manner. And yes, the third one is very common. He is the fake one. So the and the, okay, actually, they both are pronounced as the, but while typing, you need to take care which ones are we using. So please take care that Spellcheck is not going to give you the options, okay? So you need to be very much careful while you type each and every letter while typing the entire response. So now, when you actually type, it is very important to remember who are you, because if you notice, then in this particular demo task, you have been mentioned as a customer. So you need to remember that who are you while writing. And second is, who are you writing to? Say, for example, in this one, you are writing to a hotel manager. So you need to remember who are you writing to. You need to address that as well. So the third one is, what is the main purpose of the email? Because the main purpose has to be solved. Otherwise, that's going to have a negative impact upon your response. And the fourth one is, what tasks do you have to complete? So as you see, there are 3 bullet points. It is very important to take care that we cover all the tasks, because otherwise our response will be an incomplete one. Okay, let's have a look at this thing. So basically, before you start writing, you need to take care that there are few things you need to pay attention on, and that is what exactly you're going to type. What exactly are you going to include in your response? So it's called brainstorming and organizing your ideas, because you will definitely not want to organize your ideas over and over again. So it's better to organize them before you start writing, and that will actually be very much of help. Okay, you will be having an erasable notepad and a pen to take notes throughout your test. So make sure you use this in this particular task. So brainstorming is going to help you to look at the information, and as we see on both the sides. And then after, you need to use your rough notepad. And then while brainstorming, you need to take care of these 5 things. Okay. The first one is, do not spend too much of time on brainstorming. 2 or 3 minutes is actually enough. And while brainstorming, it is better to take notes on your paper, because you would not miss out anything if you would have already taken notes on. And do not worry about the spelling and grammar. But yes, make sure that while you take notes, it is better to frame them in the bullet manner. Okay. And yes, choose the key ideas. It is very important, because if you choose the key ideas, you will definitely be covering up all of them. And then sequence the ideas. Many a times we have noticed that candidates do choose the right ideas, but they don't sequence them in an organized manner. And that's where they end up making a mistake. So don't repeat that here, sir. And it is also important to think about the supporting points, because otherwise your response will be very much, not up to the great mark. So take care of the supporting points. And the last one is, write a distinct statement. So in the first paragraph, it is very important to write a distinct statement. Okay. So no copying any structures. Think about the topic and accordingly frame one. All right. Now, moving on to the next thing. It is very important that after you have read the question, and while you are actually about to frame your answer, and before you have brainstormed, while you actually start writing, it is important to put a salutation. That is, ideally, you don't need to, do the to and from or a subject line in this type of task, but you need to make sure that you do a salutation. Okay, so yes, you don't need to write your full home or business address in the email. Okay, no such thing is required. Yes, it is very important that while writing the salutation, you must know. For example, if you're writing a salutation to the formal circumstance, okay, you don't know the person much. So then, in that case, you need to mention the word dear, as we see here, and the job title. So, for example, in this one, you're going to write it to the manager. So then, you should write dear and manager. And then, or else, if in case you even write dear or Mr. or Miss, okay, and the last name. So these are the two options. But yes, if in case you're writing in an informal circumstance, then you can straight away just write hi and the first name, and or else you can just write dear and the first name. Okay. But yes, if in case you don't know who you're writing to at all, okay, you don't know them, then you can even write to whom it may concern, like this here, okay? Or else you can even write dear sir or madam. But yes, please make sure that if you write dear sir or madam, you should write that only in the circumstance where you don't know whether the person whom you are writing is a man or a woman. Okay? So these are the important things you need to take care of while you are writing your salutation. Next is, it is also important that which salutation would be most suitable, okay, for this circumstance. So now, if we look at this one, okay, we have got four options. Now, the first one is hi Jacob. The second was dear madam or sir. Okay. Third one is dear Mr. Manager. And the fourth one is dear Mr. Smith. Okay. Now, for example, you are writing to a manager of a hotel where you stay. Okay. But if you notice, then you don't have any personal connection with this person. So it's better to keep it formal by writing dear Mr. Manager. Okay. So after writing the salutation, it is very important that you write a purpose statement. And of course, that will be the initial sentence of your email. So make sure that you mention the main objective of your email and why are you writing. These two things must be covered up in the purpose statement, because that will really make a lot of impact. Okay. Now, for example, we have got three options here, okay, A, B, and C. And in these purpose statements, though they all three are there, but the best one, if you notice, option A is I'm writing to let you know that I was a customer at your hotel. A little informing, but not covering up both the things. Okay, the purpose statement and the main objective. Why are you writing? That should be covered, right? Second one is I'm writing to draw your attention about the unpleasant room service at your hotel. Okay, you're also mentioning the reason why you write along the purpose statement. Okay, good one. And the third one is I was a customer at your hotel and I am writing to complain about the room service at your hotel. Too much of explanation. So it is very important to keep your purpose statement very much precise. Okay, so if you notice here, we have the second one. That is actually the best one. Okay, so please take care that you write such purpose statements in your response. Next thing it is to make sure that the support, the main points with the relevant information, because writing something that is not relevant is very off the content and that will have a very negative impact on your scores. So make sure that you write the relevant information using your own vocabulary. Many times we have seen candidates write responses which are very much with the same words, okay? And such structures or templates are not required always. So make sure you use your own vocabulary regarding the topic. And yes, make sure that you focus on punctuation, grammar, paragraphing, and connectors. Now, for example, if I talk about punctuation, then many times people forget to put a space after putting the punctuation. So please take care of that thing. Second is grammar. Of course, the grammar will not be underlined. So you need to take care that if in case you are writing something about the past experience, then it should include a past tense verb. And yes, paragraphing. So do not write too many paragraphs. Okay, ideally 3 paragraphs is a very wise choice to write in an email. And yes, connectors. So while using connectors, please take care You use the right connector at the right situation. And of course, frame at least one sentence for every task. So, like I talked about the key points, make sure that you frame at least one sentence for every task. But yes, definitely, there will be few who might even need some more sentences. So that's not a problem. You can take care of that. Oh, yes. After you have written the body paragraph, okay, it is also important to conclude your response. So for that, you need to write a concluding sentence. And the concluding sentence should be such that should sum up the entire email, and it should even describe what do you want the reader to do. Okay. So for example, here you're writing it to a manager. So it should even include what do you want him to do. Okay. So we have got a few examples of what could be the concluding sentence. So, for example, if we notice the first one, which says, "Thank you for paying attention to my mail." The second one says, "I need you to tell me how you're going to resolve this matter." The third one, "Anyway, I really want you to take strict action regarding this incident." The fourth one, "I look forward to hearing from you about a solution to this matter." And the fifth one, "Email me back as soon as possible and tell me your solution." Now, if you notice, there are a few which are really not great, and there are a few which are really great. So, if you notice, the first one and the fourth one, they are the best ones, okay? Because they, in a way, describe the gesture, the tone, and they even let the reader know what do you expect him or her to do, okay? So, the concluding sentence is also important. Now, after you have concluded, it is also very important to give a closure. And for giving a closure, yes, for example, if you're writing a formal email, then you can obviously use these closures like yours faithfully or best regards. And if in case you are writing an informal email, then you can just write warm wishes, okay? Even that can help. So a closure is equally important because what you have started, it should be ended, right? In the right manner. So there are these things which are very important. And yes, the last thing is a sign. So it basically means your signature. So if in case you're writing a formal circumstance, then you should write your full name, okay? Your first name and your last name both in the sign. And if in case you're writing an informal one, then your first name would do. So do remember that it is not always necessary to use your original name. You can even use a dummy name. It's not a problem at all. Well, these are few things that you need to take care while writing your task one. But after you have written an entire response, you must make sure that you spend 2 or 3 minutes to check what you have written. So for that, you need to take care of these 4 points. First one is, do you view any errors that you can rectify? You must make sure that if you find any errors, you must edit them. Second is, are these views arranged? For that, you need to take care of the information on both the sides. And you need to make sure that whatever views you have presented, they must be arranged. Okay. Third thing is, did you utilize your various phrases and words? You need to make sure that you use the right phrases or words while you're framing the body paragraphs. And did you answer each part of the question? So it is very important that all the tasks should be accomplished. And yes, that will be the final look alike for this type of task. So for example, as you notice, I have mentioned a salutation to your manager, then I've written a purpose statement. I'm writing to draw your attention about the unpleasant room service at your hotel. Then I've written an entire detailed body paragraph, if you notice, which says, I had booked a stay at your property on 20th December 2020 based on your Google reviews, wherein I faced issues with the toiletries provided in the washroom. Also, the TV cable did not have a stable connection throughout the time, and when I complained about the same, the room service supervisor did not entertain at all. Instead, he suggested to be patient, rather assisting by sending a technician to solve the problem. Later, he even on the checkout, when I asked to provide a refund based on the poor service, I was told that as the manager is unavailable, they will issue the same after discussing with him within the next 5 working days. So, if you notice, I have written a detailed body paragraph into two parts. Okay, so the second part also describes that it's been 10 days post the time I was asked to wait for. Hence, I suggest you to look into the matter and resolve the same on the earliest basis. So it is very important that you describe the entire body paragraph, covering all the tasks and all the points that should be there in your response. So, based on that, I have also written a finishing statement. So, which says, I hope to look forward to hearing from you about a solution to this matter. And then I have also given a closure. Best regards, Jacob Allison. So because this is the formal email, I'm writing it with my first name and my last name. So this is all what you must take care of while you frame an entire email. And yes, after writing, you must see what all you have written. And if there are any things that you would like to edit, you must edit that. But for that, you should save some time. Well, that's all regarding task one of writing modules in the CELPIP test, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned. And for more updates regarding CELPIP, IELTS or PTE coaching, contact us on www.aspirate.com. And yes, you can surely call us on 8866880707. Myself, Jay Mitra, signing off for now. Thank you.